Welcome to something which can't possibly go wrong in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. Dear God, Trolls, what do you have on your head?
Thing.
This is our first live stream episode, everybody. Welcome to it.
Oh boy.
So how is everybody doing?
I'm cold. I'm so fucking cold.
And you're also partially transparent. Nice. You're gonna have to teach me that trick.
Yes.
It's a party trick. I'm tired as hell. I'm not even supposed to be here today. I was awake, and this is going to go catastrophically. I'm just here to cause mayhem and dishonesty.
You agreed to this.
So Trolls is his usual self, and Francisco is stealing my gimmicks. Nice. Icky Dave, how are you?
I was cosplaying as you, but now I'm back.
Nice save.
You be quiet, Trolls.
You need more hair to cosplay as me.
Well,
That's true.
apparently we're hearing Gemini.
That's because you got the Twitch stream on in the background.
Well, Summer's saying that, so no.
Oh.
Hearing me twice. Hang on.
Da-da-da-da, technical malfunction.
See, I told you this couldn't possibly go wrong.
I hit the microphone as well.
Technical malfunction.
Fucked it.
Oh, maybe it's
That
good.
was
Yeah.
with Pam.
Hang on.
Yeah,
bro.
that might do things. How does that sound?
Err.
How does that sound?
Apparently our audio levels are horrendous. Hello, my lovelies.
Hello, test 1 2. Am I still echoing?
Are you hearing Gemini twice?
Echo's gone. Okay, we solved it. Nice.
Yes.
Yay!
Now the shit show.
Nothing shall stop us.
Twitch
anyway.
whispering.
Yes. So what have you guys been playing lately?
Not BloodNet. Not BloodNet.
Well, yes, BloodNet. For like half an hour.
Shut up! Sorry.
Bloodnet is awful.
And Mark.
Yeah,
fuck?
that
Playing
explains
something
Not even
right
wearing
now.
my watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we tried
I was
BloodNet. We
opening
didn't
the
like
Twitch
it.
Stream on...
We were louder than I realized. Bloody hell. Yeah, Rizalka and I were playing BloodNet. Not for very long.
Don't play Bloodnet.
What is
Friends
what is
don't
Why would
play
you
Blood?
spend in
Bloodnet.
cyberspace? What's the point?
What is BloodNet? I don't think I've heard of this.
Okay, so
Microprose, cyberpunky, vampire piece of shit.
yeah, vampires in cyberspace. Basically the intro. It felt wrong to begin with because like the head vampire was already revealed as Van Helsing, and I'm like, what? No, that's if you're gonna do vampires, you can't have Van Helsing as your Dracula. That does no.
Yeah, there's like
And then-
one person that you should not make the big bad vampire, and it is
Yeah.
him.
It is him.
Maybe he thought a change of scenery would do him good.
Yeah, but like basically like
am
you get
tiny
bitten
on
by
the screen.
him. You get bitten by him when you're dating his daughter.
Dating is a strong term.
That's
I think
true.
they met
like, what's it
twice
called?
before that happened.
Yeah.
Casually molesting?
Well, she asked him back up to the house, and then her father just suddenly showed up and bit him. So like,
Oh, hello.
Got a very strong loved ones vibe.
Here, you want to come upstairs for a bitten by my dad?
Yeah, and then it turns out that
Nice
you have
hand
a
gesture.
oh.
So this is
you
just like
have
the
a,
room meets vampire. Like it's like I just like to watch you guys.
Yeah, no.
Got 9
But,
people watching us in the
let's go
chat, by the
home,
way.
huh?
Hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. But then, like, what's it called? What was it? Yeah. So then it turns out you've got a cybernetic enhancement that's stopping some
you're
neurological disease you have, and it's like, hey, I can't remember the name of the guy, but it's like, oh, Ransom. Like, Ransom, I think you're dying. I don't understand. I think I'm turning into a vampire. And it's just, it's probably a really long intro. It is a really long intro.
Yeah, most of the
and
time
then-
was the intro.
And then they throw you into something that you have to use double right click for interactions.
That's not a thing. You don't. You do
what's it
not.
called? I've been playing the game is loaded, and to open the inventory screen, you have to right and left click at the same time,
Oh no.
which already feels unnatural. But I got used to it. But I would be like, no, I'm not getting used to double right click. That is just fucked. Hello,
Okay,
everyone.
so a couple of things real quick. Summer is lamenting the fact that the chat is not on the stream, which admittedly there's kind of not enough room, so I couldn't put it. But I am monitoring
Who's
the chat
flying this thing?
as well as all the other people. So we will be able to see your chat. Don't worry. And
Also,
Dan brings
if
up a
you're
good
watching
point.
The VOD, VODs are going to be the chat's going to be running
They've got the
alongside
chat,
the
yeah.
VOD.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
both
Dan-
on
Since we've got
YouTube
the
and
restream
Twitch.
bot.
Dan Nastic has
Restream
brought
bot
up a
will
good
fix
point.
everyone
This is
up.
our first live stream episode, and we might have people watching us for the first time. So how about we go around introducing ourselves? Hi, everybody. I am Gemini of Gemini Does Games. I got a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel where I do reviews and Let's Plays, technically, though I'm kind of putting them on hold for the moment. But let's see. Let's go clockwise on the screen. Rizulka, you're next.
Oh, hello. I'm Rizulka. I have been doing this way too long.
Haven't we all?
I've done.
It's only been 10
Plays for
minutes.
I've been doing this for 10 years. No, I've been doing Let's Plays and basic just adventure game insanity for the past 10 years, and children's games, and adult game. It's just a thing.
Titty games.
Coming out a bit
And,
wrong. I'm just putting that out there.
yeah, and yet you are enjoying it so much. I also make the occasional game based on those type of things. Yeah.
Children's
so-
games where people fuck. Okay, no.
But no.
And with that, we move on to trolls.
Cut. No, we move past trolls.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm the Space Quest historian. I have a YouTube channel. It almost has as many subscribers as Rizulka, though not quite. She's still ahead of me. I'm catching up to her though. I
I
recently
just hit
hit
5.4.
You hit
thousand.
5.4. I hit 3,000 not long ago. So thank you everyone who did that. And that
I'm at
channel is
210,
over
I
on
think.
YouTube.com/SpaceQuestHistorian, also on Twitch, twitch.tv/SpaceQuestHistorian. I take the piss out of adventure games. That's my thing. Mainly Grundislav's games, actually.
We all do that.
Yeah.
Because
Backdoor Man is the best. Backdoor Man
Yes.
is the best.
Ben Jordan is the best.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the
Backdoor
no,
Jordan.
I still prefer my Ulysses.
You're all wrong. It's Shardlight. Dave.
Hey, I'm the one you know.
Is that a bit of blue steel?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is this suddenly become like a weird version of video Tinder? Hi.
I'm an Aquarius. I enjoy long walks on the beach. I also have a YouTube channel doing Let's Plays of mainly adventure games as well. Yeah, it's
Here's the
there.
thing.
It's a thing. I don't have
and I'm
I
gonna
don't
be
have
teaching you
3,000 or 5,000.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
Oh,
be
yeah,
teaching
you
you
are.
how to. I'm gonna teach you how to make games in Adventure Creator. That's gonna be a thing.
It'll be a
Nice.
thing.
Such thing.
Iki.
Hi, I'm Ikifu. I'm also here.
Cool. Rudy.
Also,
He
I
has a review series
have-
called Point and Quickie. He is a Patreon. Please support his Patreon. Anything else I'm missing?
the chance to let me talk.
Subscribe to Ikifu. Subscribe to Ikifu.
I'm subscribed to Ikifu. Subscribe to Gemini Does Games, for God's sake. I review games. Most of them are point and click games, rather. Beg your pardon. Freudian slip. And then just random videos or whatever the hell I feel like, and that's pretty much it. I think I've streamed like 4 times.
Yeah, and one of them was a
Stream
Zoom
marathons. It's like
Oh, that
2 of them were actually.
Also, I love the way you call point and click adventure games for pointy clickies.
Oh, pointy clicks, yeah.
Pointing
It's-
quickies. Yeah.
Sometimes pointy
I'll be perfectly honest. It's just easier for me to say.
a pointy clicky affair.
And
I find it
lastly,
endearing.
That bum in the top left corner.
I am. I'm a bum. I'm Gurnislav or Francisco Gonzalez, if you please. I'm an adventure game developer. You may know me. I also
You may know me. Yeah.
I've known you for many years now.
I also like long walks on the beach. I'm a Capricorn. And I'm also an adventure game developer. You may know me from such titles as the Ben Jordan series, Backdoor Man,
Spaceman in Space.
Spaceman. Well, that was actually Ben Chandler's game.
Yeah.
If we're being technical.
What about
play
Ben,
the
Ben
lead role
Chandler,
in it.
Paranormal Investigator in Search of the Sweets Tin?
I did do that one as well. Yes. A Golden Wake Shardlight Lamplight City, which is currently on sale for 30% off at GOG.com.
We haven't got to the
And
plug section yet.
The upcoming Western drama Rosewater. So that's me. Hi.
Hi.
Guess what zodiac sign I am?
Gemini.
Say
Games.
Scorpio.
Wrong. Offusius. Moving on. So back to what else everybody's been playing.
I'm a Virgo. It's coming up.
I've also been playing a game of vampires with blood in the name. I've been playing Bloodstained. That finally came. Well, that didn't finally come out. I finally got the chance to get my hands on it, and I've been loving it.
Is it possibly from someone named Chris?
No.
Okay,
It is-
we're gonna
it is
have
not.
an intro counter next stream.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have enough room
I was also
for how high
playing.
that number will get.
In the corner.
I was also playing a mist clone called the Eyes of Ara, which Dave, I think you've played a little bit of, didn't you?
Yep.
And
I did, yes.
I was actually liking it for a little while until I came on this puzzle, which was not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, because I griped about it in my Discord. I think it's not a sliding tile puzzle, but it's almost as bad. It's one of those bits where you're trying to flip tiles to make a picture, but every once in a while, when you flip a tile, lots of tiles will flip, and I decided, no, I don't have time for that bullshit. So, yes, that is exactly what I did
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep.
That's the experience of playing, what's it called, Bloodnet. We didn't even explain what was wrong with it.
There's a puzzle like that.
I think we said enough.
There.
We didn't mention that it was an RPG fighter.
The house picture in the doll's room. You flip one switch and the whole thing fucking flips. I hate it so much.
Also, can't that start in an unwinnable state? Or was that just the walkthrough I was looking
that's
at?
11th hour. That's the mirror puzzle in 11th hour.
Ooh.
That can start in an unwinnable state. 50% of the time, even. Did they play test this game? I don't think they did.
Yeah.
By the way, Julia Minamata, the Crimson Diamond developer, is in the chat right now, and she wants to know if it's all right if she just calls Francisco Ben Jordan for the whole time.
No, call him Bruce Jordan.
Yeah, Bruce Jordan.
Nah, Bruce Jordan's his cousin, mate.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you never did an Australian, but Ben Jordan Down Under.
Well, I mean, that was what Ben Chandler Paranormal Investigator was.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. But
Yeah, what
We're
was
gonna have a.
what was that
There
game
will
you
be an
and
entertainment intermission where Francisco recites the ballad of Ben Chandler's Sweet Tin. No, there won't actually, but I.
oh,
I
let's
dearly
ruin
wish
Police
there would.
Quest.
what was that game that
I
you
don't
played on
remember how to
stream
play
with
either
Human
of those.
Interact trolls? What was it, Diamond Dan Down Under or something like that?
Oh shit! Yeah. I was a guest on Alexander's stream. We played,
Yes, that was
this
supposed to be me,
weird-
by the way.
Oh.
What happened?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, you backed out.
Wow.
No, I didn't. I didn't. He kicked me out for you.
Ooh.
It's
Dan,
because
You're
You're
wondering
I
what
had
the
less
YAR crew gets
subscribers
up
than
to
you.
in our
Yeah.
copious free time.
We're actually mortal enemies. We just stick
Yeah.
together.
Down
for
Under
kids.
Dan, that was it. And Dan Nastic says, "Will you let the audience know when and if we can ask questions, or is it a free for all?" It's go ahead and pose questions.
Free for all.
And
Just-
Yeah.
if we don't see him, ask him
Speaking-
again, and we'll be checking the chat every now and again throughout the stream.
I think
Speaking
Dave's
of,
turned
we've got
into
Summer
a-
in the chat as well, also part of the YAR crew, and responsible for herding us cats together and making stream marathons possible,
Yes.
which we do as
Round
well.
of applause for the song.
Round of applause for her. She does tremendous work with that.
We did the same.
Luca actually does
Gosh,
a round
Lord.
of applause.
Well, I think that just shows how much time that we've been playing games together recently. That we just. Meh.
But yeah, we will be checking the chat throughout the stream, and we will try and get to as many questions as we can. And again, this is our first live stream, so hopefully,
There will be teething errors.
yeah, the process will hopefully get smoother as we go along. But in the meantime, let us move on to the news. And the first bit of news, I don't even have written down, but I saw it on Twitter. Happy birthday, Unavowed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday it turned 1 year old. That is quite possibly one of the greatest games I've played since starting my YouTube career. No offense, Francisco. But it just is. But no, seriously, it is such a damn good game, and it deserves all the accolades it's gotten. And yeah, it is officially 1 year old.
I think I should play that on the. Oh shit! Dave's being beamed up by aliens again.
What the
Yeah, I was
hell?
gonna say, Dave's light fixture fetish is
Yeah.
turned into
It's
a
definitely
God,
the-
and everything.
It's definitely
I
the
was
Star
gonna say-
Trek reboot version, though.
I was gonna say he's turned into a sparkly vampire from Twilight.
Francisco, don't swear.
Oh god, the smoldering look, man.
Seriously, what's
Yeah,
going on with
so
your
what's-
lights, dude?
I don't know what's happening because there are no
I
light
think it's-
sources.
You've got the sun behind you. Where's the thing
What
where
the
your
hell?
curtains is open?
Goddamn paparazzi.
One thing I regret about Unavowed is, well, not
think
anything
it's the sunlight.
regarding the game. It's
I'll-
because
have a look
I'll
at
just
the
keep
blinds,
talking. I
they're
don't give
all
a shit.
closed.
Well, I can see
played-
the light beam on the back of your green screen, so.
I won't-
Dave will
Dave
sort
will-
out his
Dave will
beaming
fix
up
that
issues
in the
whilst
meantime.
Trolls makes words.
The lights in Dave's room are vastly more important than whatever I have to say. I concur.
Wait.
We
Can you see how
literally
many
said
lights
the
there are?
opposite.
Can you see how
Do
many
words.
Yes.
I think there might be 3. No, 5.
Oh,
No,
oh.
there are 4 lights.
lights? Okay, cool.
He said the thing.
No one in chat gets
Intro
that.
counter
Anyway.
4 lights. Anyway, I only did one video of Unavowed, and I didn't play a lot of it. And then I played it with my wife, and she made all the decisions, and I just, controlled the mouse, and it was a very, very wonderful experience. Unavowed is a great date game. If you are going on, let's say a second or a third date, maybe. The first date obviously is the restaurant and the holding of hands. The second date is you and your significant other sitting down playing Unavowed, because it as far as a 2-player adventure game without there actually being a 2-player mode in it works tremendously well. Because yeah, so I kind of regret not doing a full playthrough of it on my channel, so I'm putting it on the list for things to do on the YAR stream playthrough. Streamy channel, yeah, thing. We're playing Thimbleweed Park right now on the Euro stream takeover, but I'm gonna put in a word for Unavowed being the next one.
I like how the only 2 people that have streamed on there so far are, well, the 2 groups of people, rather. There's 2 groups of people, and they both claim they're taking over. So we're all just constantly at war.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we skipped last week. We were supposed to record this last week, but we decided we couldn't for various reasons. I was busy being sick and trying to get over that, and the rest of you were apparently busy fighting a civil war over who was taking over the YAR channel. I've seen the Aussie takeover. I've seen
I
the
too was
Eurotrash
sick.
takeover. I think I saw American takeover getting planned somewhere. Why can't you
See,
people
that's
just
the irony.
cohabitate? That's what I want to know.
It's the irony. The irony of this is that for once, in a global political skirmish, the Americans are actually the lazy ones. We're
No,
doing nothing.
I made a banner called
Yeah, the
American
invasion.
You did,
Invasion.
but did you plan a stream?
No, hell no.
See?
We'll
Laying the groundwork.
We'll just invade another country and have them do it.
Gimmick
Not to
infringement.
get political.
Moving on, I think. Let's talk about adventure games which have yet to come out, or for the most part anyway. Adventure Gamers Hypometer, which has been most recently updated, at least last time I checked, as of July 11th. They've got a list of the 10 most hyped games, I would guess. And one of
Look at
these...
that, production values.
Yeah, look at one of these has actually recently come out as of a few days ago. Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure, which I believe one of us on the panel is planning on playing. Trolls?
This Sunday, twitch.tv/BaseQuest Historian. Plug.
Yes.
Plug.
And
Ooh.
someone else down there is going to be doing a point and quickie about it as well, I'm guessing.
Ah, nice.
Actually,
It's a fair shout.
Yeah.
Gemini, the hypometer has since been updated.
Ah,
Um,
shit.
No,
Right.
wait. But hold
What,
on,
what,
hold on.
what?
It's
Is-
still
is
pretty
it-
much as you have it. It's just that.
Okay, good. We'll
Gibbous
ignore it
is
then.
No longer on it.
So,
Gibbous is no longer on it, and Telling Lies is now number. But pretty
Okay.
much all of the other
Number
ones that
butt.
are on there are
what's
on there.
what's number
Okay,
10?
Number 10 is Asylum.
Asylum. Okay, I've never heard of that,
So,
so
like-
who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm looking at this list of games and thinking, how many of these did I see at Adventure X that were slated to come out early 2019?
Like I said, first live stream, people. But yeah.
Oh, Telling Lies. I had to look up Telling Lies. I have no idea what it is, and it makes me feel kind of weird.
Oh.
I'm supposed to be kind of
Summer. Summer brings up a good
It's
point. Why is
every-
this list lacking Rosewater?
And that's what I'd like to know.
You're gonna have to complain about that, Francisco.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the hypometer is basically, they say that it's what people are talking about, and I tweet about Rosewater all the time, so I put it out to the world. You all have to hype up.
What's
Anyway.
that?
Yeah,
Retweet all the
it's
Rosewater
actually-
stuff? Okay.
It's you guys who are not pulling your weight.
Yeah.
Guys.
God,
Hashtag Rosewater game.
if Rosewater ain't on there, it's your fault.
Also,
Hashtag
wait,
Rosewater was robbed.
I have another question. Why isn't the Crimson Diamond on this list?
Oh, nice save.
Too new, I guess.
Nice
Maybe.
save.
I don't know.
Because you're not
It
talking
should
about
be.
it, Francisco, so it's your fault.
I think
By our own logic.
That's true. You're right. You're
I think
absolutely
what we
right.
need to do is end the silly Civil War thing and band together and wage war on AdventureGamers.com.
Yep.
Yes,
This instant, we're declaring war.
I think we're
Yeah, that's
much
the
more
answer.
qualified to run this shit than they are.
Oh yeah. As has been evidenced by how smooth this has been going. But anyway, going back to the
It kind
hype.
of reminds me of what's it called? There's a newspaper here called the Sydney, the Herald Sun, the Sydney Herald Sun, and they're not actually in competition with the other newspapers. They're in competition with the current affair TV shows.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like YouTube Adventure Roundtable being in competition with Just Adventure, or not Just Adventure, AdventureGamers.com. Just, you know.
Those two, we can invade them after that. I mean,
So anyway, going back to the hypermeter, taking a quick look at some of the other games they've got. Some of the ones I'm looking forward to: Firmament, because of course I am. The game
Cyan,
by
yep.
Cyan Studios, and Techno Babylon Birthright, the
Oh, yeah.
sequel, of course, to Techno Babylon.
how many people got trolled by James Dearden at last year's Adventure X?
I
Yeah,
wanted
me
to.
too.
I so wanted to, and I kept missing him.
It was so good.
He
And
promised
then,
me he was going to, and then I didn't bump into him at all.
There's that Beyond a Steel Sky, whatever the fuck that is. Who cares about that? And then
Hey, no hints
Chat-
yet. No hints yet.
chat-
Too
chat.
early. No
Oh,
Chat.
the cameras are off.
yeah, chat. Be glad I don't have the
No,
cameras
they're
up right
not.
now.
Oh,
Trolls is doing unspeakable things to himself right now.
I'm rubbing myself for
Albino
him.
chipmunk.
And
yeah.
I don't want to say I'm not looking forward to Poison Pond because I kind of like Tex Murphy. I'm interested in it, but I'm just not that big of a fan of it. I tried playing Tesla
It should
Effect
be at the
a while
top.
back.
Oh,
And,
yeah, it should be.
I couldn't really
Actually,
get into
Beyond
it.
the Steel Sky and Poison Pond should share first place, along with, of course, Rosewater. And Jean-Baptiste de Clafet is here, so we should probably put Lancelot's Hangover on the list somewhere as well. I mean, AdventureGamers.com. Are you even alive? I mean, what?
So
Didn't you see him at Adventure X?
Real-
Did you not hear him talking about upping the jank factor?
real quick,
Well,
has,
yeah.
has anybody seen anything about some of these other games like Creeks? Someday You'll Return.
I have
No.
not heard of those two.
I've heard
I
a bit
Well,
of
any of
Someday
them.
You'll Return.
Yeah, I remember
Uh.
seeing a trailer for that at Adventure X like 3 years ago.
But I've never
it's
heard
a-
of Beautiful Desolation or Creeks.
I think I've heard of Beautiful Desolation, but I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Sorry. I'm not the
Black
best.
Sad does look fun.
Uh,
kind of like Inherit the Earth meets Maltese Falcon kind of thing.
There seems to be between Black Sad and Backbone and another one. There's like 3 games that are coming out that feature anthropomorphic trench coat wearing detectives.
And we've already had Bear With Me, which was a surprisingly good game.
That's right. They just released a prequel last week. Yep.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So who's got other news?
I have news.
So do I, and it's related.
Oh.
Go ahead, trolls.
Well,
You're
then.
related to each other, and you're running away to France together. I don't know.
Wait, what? Hey, what?
I'm the.
That was your first thought?
I'm not going there.
So, you've probably heard of this convention called PAX, and
No.
it's a thing. It's in the Americas.
Oh, so perfect.
somewhere.
There's an Australia PAX, isn't there?
Yeah, I've been to
Yeah, there's
PAX
a PAX
Australia.
Australia, but this
I
one is
generally hang
PAX.
out with Aunt Stilla. We have a lobster night.
Oh.
Lovely. I am going to be at the one in Seattle, which is at the end of this month, and I shall be hobnobbing with adventure game greats such as Francisco Gonzalez and Dave Gilbert, and I shall try not to embarrass
Such heavy
myself
name
in
drops.
front of Al Lowe, which isn't that high a bar.
Such
really.
name.
I love
Much
Al
drop.
to bits. Much drop. So that's going to be fun. And on a personal note, while he's not going to the actual convention, I am going to drive up and meet Scott Murphy in person.
Ooh,
For the
nice.
first time ever. So that's
Really?
a bit of a albino squirrel.
How many pairs of trousers are you packing for that trip?
Several.
That is awesome.
Yeah. In related news, I had heard a funny story. Actually, I heard about this PAX panel, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I happened to sort of know through Facebook the person organizing it, who is the lovely Roberta Vaughn, who does PR for Trans Solar Games. She's worked with the Coles on Hero U and stuff. And I was like, it never hurts to get your name out there. So I messaged her and I was like, "Hey, listen, this is really cool that this panel's happening. Like, if you ever plan anything in the future, like, I'd like to throw my hat in the ring, just whatever, thinking that maybe in a year or two I'd get a, hey, would you like?" It didn't take a year or two. It took about 2 days. And I got a message saying, "Hey, Ron Gilbert canceled. Do you want to replace him?" And I was like,
Nice. Let me think about that, sure.
So thankfully I was able to make things work, and now I'm going to be on said panel, and I'm also going to be meeting up with Trolls so I can touch him in person, and
Which we've done. You've cradled him in your arms before, so.
You picked him up before.
I have to pick him up and cradle him yet again.
Yeah. I was
shall
gonna
look very
do
much
it, but he
forward
was
to
so
that.
woozy after you did it. I just went, I can't do it.
He already had a
Very
nosebleed.
drunk at the time.
I know. That's why I didn't prove I could do it as well.
Yeah, but I'm personally very excited because I've never been to a PAX before, and I've certainly never spoken on a panel with such high-profile people before, and I'm also going to have
Dave
to pack...
Gilbert's on it. I did. Hi, Dave. I love you.
I'm going to have to pack several pairs of trousers myself because there's a party that's happening, and I'm not going to drop any names, but there's a lot of people there that I'm going to be like...
What, more so than the GDC one?
Oh, Julia's gonna be there as well.
Oh yeah. Julia's gonna be there.
Summer,
And she's also
Summer
going to be at
says.
Adventure X, so I'm going to get some time with it.
Summer
Wait,
says,
I'm
touch him
gonna
and
pick
do
her up?
the other things.
You never know.
Yeah, so no kissing and telling, but yeah, there is a party happening.
Pretty much,
after PAX, and it's
I'll just
Maybe
say that
lifting and telling.
I could take pretty much any of these boxes and get them signed to said party, but I'm not going to.
Nice.
Just take the entire suitcase. It's not clothes. It's just game
I mean,
boxes.
I have to put these all in a box anyway before I go to PAX, so
You may as well.
Walk around PAX with this
may
giant
as well.
crate.
Giant cardboard box. Sign my games, please.
Would
All right.
someone like to sign my game?
So,
Then you just get random people signing them.
all right, so let's
Or
move
just
on.
like get like plastic containers for them all, tape them all together, and just form a mech suit. And just wear that around the convention.
All right.
Yeah, if you could just sign this, open the flap, and
Pray silence.
that'd be great.
Thank you. All right, so moving on. Adventure Jam, of course, happened a few weeks ago and was very successful. A lot of good games came out of that. But of course, that is not the only. What the hell are you doing? Game Jam that
Singing the theme song to
exists,
my
of course.
Adventure Jam game.
All right.
Are-
Would that
are you sure?
would that be Brexit man in airport land? The re-Brexiting. That one.
Yes.
Oh, that one.
What are you doing here, sir?
Did you make that face when you did the voice?
I have to make that face when I do the voice, which is why I've never done it on camera before.
There are, of
I'm
course,
That's the only way it
lots,
comes out.
lots of game jams that are out there, both on Game Jolt and Itch.io. And I just picked a few out that looked interesting. These are all on itch.io, in case anybody is interested in keeping an eye on, or even taking part yourself. You should still have time. We've got the GB30 Jam, which is taking place, started today, actually, and it goes through the 16th. And as the initials might suggest, this is to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Game Boy. That old thing. So obviously, all the games are going to be reminiscent of, the Nintendo DS. Moving on, we got the Summer Slow Jam as well, with the theme this time of edutainment
Yeah.
games.
That's also what Amy's dance is called, the Summer Song.
Nice.
And it is just like you're doing an impression of someone surfing against a green screen.
Oh yeah, the camera's not on, but just picture me bobbing swayingly, half drunkenly in front of the camera.
There we go. Now it's on.
Okay.
To the newspaper music from Synergist.
All right, you can put the
Want to
Jam
sped
Watch
up
screen.
yet
But yeah, the theme is edutainment games. That started a couple days ago, and that lasts till the 23rd. And then,
Don't have time.
well, you might have time for this one. How about the Low Res Jam 2019? That goes through to the 17th. And this was the only one I could find a clear time frame of voting on. The voting starts on the 18th and goes to the 24th. But the Low Res, Dan made a comment, which I'll get to in a second. But the Low Res Jam,
I was just on.
yeah, the theme is that you create a game whose resolution is 64 by 64. And well, that's not the theme. That's the rule set, but it's got optional themes to it, and you can use like any editor or programmer that you want, and like that. But the only stipulation, the window can resize if you want, but the only stipulation is the resolution has to be 64 by 64, which I thought was kind of interesting.
It's actually
And,
a cool challenge. It's a cool challenge to make a point-and-click game in a 64 by 64 resolution. There was that guy last year's Adventure Jam, I believe, who did. I can't remember what it was called, but it was made in Pico 8, and it had like a very low Atari-style resolution. I don't think it was quite 64 by 64, but it was like really low res. It's the one with Space Jesus in it.
So yeah, Dan,
You're gonna have to narrow that down for me.
Dan Nastic said, I
there's
could
been
be
a
a
few
voice
of those.
actor. I being me. Says, I'm authoritative and soothing at the same time. A good combo. I actually kind of am a voice actor in a amateur capacity. I've even got a voice reel on my main YouTube channel if you want to go check it out. But yeah, I've done a couple of roles, including, that guy. No, that guy. I'm trying to point to Trolls. There he is. Down there somewhere. I was in
He impersonates
Brexit
Jesus.
Man. I was the narrator. But yeah.
Is it the narrator for what game again?
What
was the title of the
Hey,
game?
wait, hang on. You got-
Brexit Man in Airport Land. That one.
Yeah. You got a starring role in a web series, didn't you? You're the narrator in a web series.
Well, it's not the starring role. It's more sort of an ensemble thing. But yeah, I tweeted out that I've got a role in an upcoming web series. You can check that out on my Twitter, as well as the series itself. It's called Main Events. Summer asks,
good.
how
Looks
do I
really
choose the
Dates in the
jam?
chat.
Summer asks, how do I
Yes,
choose
or
the
YAR
jams for
compatriots
Jam
here
Watch?
That's the monster. Hello.
So
We're
yeah, when you look,
professionals.
hang on, guys. When you look in the itch.io game jam list, there are far more. Yeah, there are like dozens, if not hundreds, in there. So obviously, I had to narrow it down to a few, and I just kind of
From 12 to 100.
yeah, I said dozens with the S. That's plural.
30 to 50 feral hogs. Sorry.
I've seen
No,
that
that's
on
next
Twitter.
month.
I have no idea what the
That's
fuck
next
it
month
means.
They're doing that jam.
Just shut up. But yeah, basically, I just picked the ones that kind of jump out at me as thinking, oh, that might be interesting to talk
Like
about.
30 to 50. Okay, I will show it.
But yeah, that's how I picked the jams for that. And that, I think, is the news. So, Rizulka, do you have any magic words you might like to intone at this particular moment?
Douche Mountain.
Nope, that's not the one.
Would someone like to come
You-
to?
You gotta
Douche
say,
Mountain?
no, we can't do the game until you say the magic
No,
words.
Oh, come on! I'm no good at saying it. You're better at saying it, man.
Yeah, but it's your game. You
We
gotta
can
invoke
all
it.
say 3, 2,
Alright.
1, and just all do it.
Superb.
Super happy fun time.
Super.
There we go. Close enough.
Yay!
Okay. So, as usual, as hosted by Douche Mountain, so this is a new game. I saw some people on Twitter talk about, like, upscaling game screenshots with AI, and then I can't remember who it was decided that they were going to do it with Deep Dream, and I went, hey, that's an idea. To put some game screenshots through. Yeah, he's seen one. Ikifu might have seen one that I've done. So
I saw one on
seen-
Twitter as well.
Quick,
It was.
quick question,
it was
guys. Are we
horrifying.
still streaming?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was reaching for something and I
I-
accidentally hit the escape button on my keyboard. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't make us crash and burn. All right, cool. Sorry. Continue.
It's
No,
still
we're
streaming
still
as far as
running.
I can tell.
So I have 8 screenshots that have gone through the Deep Dream experience, and
So basically, what happened is you didn't so much upscale the graphics as you
No.
passed a serious bong load to an AI and then had it have its way with the game screen.
Oh, trolls. using
Something like that.
Bomb just reminded me. Another bit of. No. This is sad. This is actually
Are we gonna do
sad.
bong hits at PAX?
No.
It's been a while, dude. It might.
No. No, I have some sad news. I have an
Oh,
in
yeah.
memoriam. An
Oh.
in memoriam. We lost Stu Rosen recently. Stu Rosen, of course, being the voice director as well as actor in both Gabriel Knight's Sins of the Fathers. He also played Quest for Glory 4, and according to trolls, when we did our Let's Play of Gabriel Knight a couple of years ago, Stuart Rosen was also a heavy endorser of the 420 lifestyle. So light one up, and if you're into that sort of thing, take an extra bong hit to remember dear Stu Rosen. Rest in peace.
I have to interject. That is allegedly. It might actually be. What's the word I'm looking for?
Hearsay?
Liability, something.
Oh,
libel.
libel alert?
Libelous.
Libelous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
actually
it's
have any
spoken,
grounds
so it'd be slander.
other than the fact that he actually did kind of a shit job on Gabriel Knight 1, and no one is prepared to admit it. But a brilliant man nonetheless.
man is
and I tip
dead,
my hat
sir.
to him.
He's dead.
You gotta appreciate people the way they came in, and he was a very affable person in the behind-the-scenes footage. So I think he did his best job. Just too many bong hits in the studio.
all right. So are you ready to go from one trip
Yeah.
to another trip?
So that was my eulogy.
that's-
I'm not sure I am, but
There's a transition for you. There's a segue. All right.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Oh. Dear God. It's
There it is for the people.
Oh,
watching.
I
there's
know
a
what
bird
it
dog.
Oh,
I think I do too.
That's from
Oh, I
Cinephist.
know what it is.
yeah.
Yeah, but...
Very good
Yeah.
transition.
Oh God.
I
But he's
love
a
that he
dog.
Where
turned into
did
a
the-
weird dog thing, though.
Where did the dog and burp come
That's
from?
so good. That's so
Why
good.
did
I feel
Why
like
did
the
the
dogs...
why did the door turn into a speaker?
The dogs
More importantly,
and the
where are you
birds-
seeing a bird?
or every?
on the
To the
shoulder.
to our right, it looks like a
Yeah, little
bird
birdie
body.
bird.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, hang on. No, no, look away,
Wait
look
a
away, look away,
minute.
look away, look away.
Oh, look at the puppy bird.
The weird, hideous.
Rizulka
puppy
done
bird.
goofed.
Cronenbergian
Rizulka's doing technical
nightmare.
difficulties.
First time yell.
For some reason, the same image came up twice.
A green parrot. Yes, awesome monster. That is.
Well,
what I was
I've got it.
getting
I've got
at.
it ready on
I
my
did not
end. If you
find
want
the
me to go ahead
words.
and show it.
There we go. What's it called? Francisco, you can't answer this one because you.
No,
you
I-
already-
Professionals.
I recuse myself from this one.
What the hell?
I like the horse though.
I like the.
Fuck.
I like the wolf
long
wolf.
hat.
Wolf.
The wolf
And
wolf.
also the desk has an eye and ribs.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the weird.
Honestly, I would frame these and hang them up in my house. I would-
These
I
are
would-
honestly.
I-
Honestly, they're gorgeous.
They're more
disturbing, but
spinities than
Hmm.
ribs.
So what game do we think
what's
it's
that
from?
Yeah, what is that from?
I'm
I was
also
gonna
going to
say
open it to the
Lorbo
chat
too.
as well.
Oh
It's
yeah,
always
by all
Lorbo
means,
too.
chat. Have at it. See if you can guess it as well.
The desk is
Chat
a
literally-
That's the exact
Literally
reason
says
we're
he's
live
having
streaming.
an acid flashback. Yeah.
That desk is in an adventurer's office in exactly this state. Like, not from the source screenshots. There we are. This is
Yeah,
exactly as we
he's
see it
got
now.
two
Yeah.
two half horse heads melded together.
With the
I thought those were like dogs.
random
but yeah.
jigsaw piece collection on the right hand side.
The most
into-
normal thing about this picture is the skeleton.
I think
Well,
we're
it's
gonna have to
it's
have,
not really that normal when you
yes!
consider his,
Dagger of Roman Ra. Thank you very much. It's
I
Olivia
said-
Moss's office.
I knew it was Lord.
before I switch. I can't really consider the skeleton normal when you consider he's doing a portal thing where his waist is on the floor and his legs are dangling from the ceiling. But yeah,
But
it's
that no, you know what? Those
it's
are two
Dagger
different
Vomit.
skeletons.
Why
The
is that not
skeleton,
working?
the skeleton
Whoa.
on the bottom seems to be banging that weird
It's
detached
all
dog
grey.
head.
And
Yeah.
it's
There we
There
go.
we go.
Ah.
You know, I never noticed that skeleton portal thing, and I'm never gonna be able to unsee it now.
actually that jigsaw piece collection on the right looks exactly the same.
Hmm.
There's no
Yeah.
difference between that and the. Oh dear.
oh yeah, you're right.
The algorithm left the trippy bit alone and just.
So
had its
this
way
is
with
too much for
everything
me.
else.
I'm out.
Yeah.
My work is
I
done
love-
here. I just
I'm just gonna make sure that the next one hasn't fucked itself. One moment.
all right. I'll go ahead and show
Awesome Monster has the best worst idea. Make it adventure
Yes.
games with these deep dream backgrounds.
I mean, I love
Actually, she
this.
didn't specify
The
adventure
nightmare
games. I just, it's on brand, you know.
it. Rizulka, you want me to go ahead and show the
No.
next one?
Yes.
All right, there it is for
That's-
the chat watching. This one, yeah.
Whoa.
It's probably
Oh.
kind of
Oh,
easy.
that
Well,
I
well,
mean,
like,
this was
I can,
easy.
This
I
was
can
kind of
push this out
obvious.
for quite a while, given that 3 of us at least know what it is.
let's see if the chat gets it. Well,
I mean,
the
I
chat
at least
got it.
recognize the
chat
character. I don't
The
know the
chat
exact
got it.
Yep,
name.
chat's got
got
it.
it.
Yeah.
Chat got it.
There's a Monkey Island.
Yep.
Still,
Hooray.
the stained
Yeah,
glass
if you
window
ever-
approach is.
Yeah, if you ever visit the church, this is up, and it's a bit of a trip.
Yeah. Oh God, what is this thing?
All right.
At some point, I
While
should
Rizulka
do,
finds it, here
or-
comes the next picture.
We should do an adventure game where, like Dark Seed, like there's a portal to the other dimension, and it's the same room, but it went through Rizulka's acid flashback machine.
Oh. What is this?
I
I
ca-
don't recognize
Oh,
this
yeah,
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
I could never get the hang of these magic eye pictures, so. yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta put it
this
right
one-
to your nose and pull it away slowly.
Yeah, this
Cross
one
your
I had
eyes.
to put through Deep Dream a couple of times because I recognized it too easily for a while.
There are eyes in the
You
back.
don't
also
have that problem anymore.
Is it a
No.
naked lady wearing a gas mask?
Yeah,
Is it one of your titty games? I think it's one of your
No.
titty games.
you look close. You can see it.
Is it Return to Zork? Because usually when it's something I don't know,
No.
it's generally Return
Yeah.
to Zork.
No,
Of the
and
dig.
You may think yourself.
Oh, I know the dig.
I think it's very grim that you guys don't know this.
Oh, it's Grim Fandango, but I don't know where.
How can it be Grim
Oh,
Fandango?
yeah, I see it. It's
Look at
Manny.
the-
There
Oh,
it is.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not see that.
Yeah,
Nor
I,
did
would,
I.
I wouldn't have gotten
Yeah.
that until. you
Unrelated,
said that.
maybe we should do a mic check next time.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. What are you whispering about over there?
All right, here's the next picture.
Lucid dreaming.
Ooh.
Ooh, Leash Suit Larry Fine?
No,
I'm
this.
guessing that because of the color scheme. The color scheme
Wait,
kind of says.
This
Larry
looks
Fine.
vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
What kind
But
of fabric do you want to use in this room? All of it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
gonna go
All
with
the fabric.
velvet acid vomit.
I'm gonna kick myself. I mean, because this is on the tip of my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Oh,
what, you can just wait till the end of the month. I can do it for you.
okay.
Gibbous?
And then I'll pick you up. No. Oh God,
Cradle
what is
me.
it?
Oh yeah, I know this, man.
The main character's not
Oh,
on
you're
the
picking him up at
screen,
the end of
are
it,
they?
right.
No, I have edited them out.
Ah, okay.
Nobody in chat's got
It
it
says
yet.
Police Quest 3.
I don't think.
No, no, no one's got it so far.
This is a
It's
high
not
res
the-
game.
Yeah.
I like how they've made a wee blanket for it under the kitchen cabinets on the right there. That's cute.
Yeah, there's like a little pillow for it. It's lovely. And also the stove appears to be melting.
It's not Runaway, is
Stove.
it?
No,
It would-
a stove
no,
that
friends,
has
no.
what's it called? Leftovers from the night before, because this protagonist is just that incompetent.
Oh,
life.
oh shit.
Is it
Oh.
Mystery
Yeah.
of the Druids?
Oh no, if only.
no.
Man, I should add that to the
Oh.
list.
No, you shouldn't.
Maybe have a look at the items on the table.
A laptop? A map?
A very special
I mean, it's
laptop that,
I mean, it's
you got a
90s
date
clearly.
From.
Wait, is this Synergist again?
It is synergist again.
Oh,
Oh.
I thought
Oh.
so. Yeah.
Really?
Double
Okay.
fake out.
Why
Right.
do you keep
Oh.
putting Synergist in this?
Because it's amazing.
Why do you keep putting synergist in? Why?
Synergist in anything, really.
God damn it.
Wait,
God
who's
damn it. I'm
was
so
that? That
angry
wasn't
at
Tim's
myself.
apartment, was it?
It was.
That was
Oh,
Tim's
okay.
apartment.
All right. Right.
All right,
There-
have a
Oh,
look at
this
that
one
one.
I do know.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
I'm not even
easy.
sure what you
Oh,
call
hey,
this.
I know this one too.
It's
Yeah.
like somebody only had square brushes.
Go ahead, trolls.
This is very artistic, actually.
Oh, Siri
Yeah.
are in the
It's-
chat got
There
it.
we are, got it.
David
Yeah.
Tentacle.
It's Day of the Tentacle, absolutely. I recognize the room layout, but my god, that was trippy. Oh, you know what?
Got a couple
Oh
more.
shit. Oh, you should reduce the colors on
Oh,
that to
yeah.
256 and then enable color cycling, and that will trigger
Oh
every
my
acid
God.
flashback you've ever had.
Speaking of acid, have a look at this one.
Oh
Fuck
my
me.
god.
Oh, this is easy. I know this one.
Yeah, this is.
Why
easy,
is
but
it
why are there
always
so many dogs?
eyes?
I am
Why?
mesmerized
Dogs and
by this.
eyes.
There
and
are
It's so
eyes
good.
in
Siri,
the
I got
wall.
it. Yeah, several people got
It's-
it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chat nailed
Yeah,
it.
Quest for Glory 4.
It's all foxes and eyes. I hate it.
Yeah, what is the
I
weird
would actually
cat
have
dog
this
that
on
my
appeared in
wall,
the bottom
though.
left?
Wait,
I
Oh, yeah,
something
me too.
about
This.
it.
And
the
also,
other
also
version
that
isn't much better.
no, this is beautiful. It's like a big furry dog sphincter wall kind of.
Oh,
thing, and
yeah.
there are eyes
yeah.
everywhere. It's
Yeesh.
what
Yeah,
the
'cause-
Why do I have a
fuck
feeling
is
like this would be on Pete's wall?
Is that
I
a
love big
is that a
furry dogs.
dog
It's-
cow in the bottom left?
It's like
Yeah,
a
why is
magic
the
eye
dog on the
picture
bottom
of
left
a
eating the other
cactus.
I don't know. Anyway, this is the last one.
And the bottom right is a fox
Thank goodness.
goldfish. Okay. Eldritch horrors indeed. Yeah.
Ooh. I do like this one, this sort of mosaic
Oh,
style.
yeah. I got this
Oh.
one. It's pretty
Yeah.
though. It's really lovely.
I-
Is this from the remastered or the original?
Oh,
It's
this will be
from
the remaster.
Yeah, remastered.
Remaster of what?
Or
Syria got it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the look of a
Yeah.
man that'll take half a fucking hour to turn around.
As you can see, I had to get rid of Mosley and Gabriel, so there's a bit of fuckery with the back of the truck there.
well.
I didn't even notice that at first.
There are
It's
four
not actually
lights.
lights.
Surrealism.
There
The
are
game
four
was-
Oh
lights.
yeah, there are 4 lights.
There are indeed 4 lights. 4 lights.
Well, there's a couple on the back of the police car, so it's ruined. Oh well.
Dan Nastic says it's Jim Wall's balls mood edition.
Excuse me. I'm
So
allergic.
this and more you can look forward
To
to
Jim
in
Wall's balls?
season
Well,
3,
those-
but we still have season 2 to go through. So
Yeah, I still have to edit
Starting
season
soon.
2 with a slightly tipsy Francisco Gonzalez. Oh God, I love that so much.
Oh fun.
I love the first.
it's
the first
not as bad gone as when he did what's it called, Police Quest 3. There was a lot I cut out of that.
Oh no, this is beautiful. I love
I
with
don't get that drunk anymore.
But that was
That
fun.
was- that was-
Is that why?
That was late
Yeah.
20s Gurnislav, a very different person.
That was fun. Thank you, Natalie.
Singing
Yes.
songs about naked Jesus, yeah.
So, for our topic for this episode, I actually had something else in mind. And then we decided by a major consensus to live stream the episode. And by a major consensus, I mean, I asked and a couple of people went, sure, why not? So, yeah. I changed the topic on everybody. And
Okay.
because this is our first live stream episode, and we've got a couple of people here who actually weren't here for our actual first episode, and also, of course, we have the chat with us as well, who I believe still has at least one or two game developers in there. I thought that it might be a good idea to revisit the question that I posed on the very first episode, and that is, what do you think defines an adventure game? Not necessarily a point-and-click adventure, but just an adventure game in general. And of course, we can get repeat input from the people that were there on the first episode. But let's start with the newcomers, so to speak. Rizolka
waking
and
up for that.
Francisco. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Like it's a feeling. It's a feeling. You just like
It's a state of
you-
mind.
It is a state of mind. Like, what's it called? Because there are so many games that I don't mind that I would consider an adventure that are hybrided that I don't really. I think it's just to focus on narrative. Like, it's kind of like you inhabit this character and you're in their world and you go on a quest of some description. It's broad. It's wonderful. It's just the focus is more on the story rather than, saying like, let's go kill some hookers or whatever and let's tie a story around it. Yeah. Where your emphasis is.
Someone is going to make that adventure game at some point.
Yeah, I'm making notes right now. Not about that.
I think to summarize the conclusion that we went to in the last episode, maybe this is something we can build from. We sort of came to the conclusion that adventure was like an umbrella term for a bunch of different subgenres of games that focus either predominantly on narrative or predominantly on puzzle solving. And there was some heated discussion whether Seventh Guests or Myst qualified as adventure games or not, and I shall not throw my Claymore mine into that horrendous battlefield again. But adventure games being an umbrella term, and it's actually sort of easier to define what isn't an adventure game rather than what is, if you ask me. But then again,
I can definitely agree with that.
Yes,
I've been told I have sort of a purist outlook on this by my cohorts over at Backseat Designers. May they rest in peace. I killed them.
Oh, I was looking forward to seeing Gareth again at Adventure X.
By the way, apologies.
He's got a real
I-
job now.
Apologies if you
You
hear
can't
dog.
find them, and neither can you.
Yeah,
What?
apologies if you hear dogs
Phoenix
barking in the
Sofa that
background.
killed them.
Yeah, my dogs are outside. Before we get to Francisco, Dan Nastic in the chat asked a really good question. Are adventure games alive and well? Are they declining or on the uprise or just outright dead? I definitely wouldn't
Well,
say
not
they're outright
declining.
dead.
Genres
Yeah.
don't
No.
die.
No.
You
Yeah.
can't kill a genre. Punk never died. Silent
Well,
movies didn't die. They just went
I
out
think
of
he,
fashion.
I think he means more the popularity of it. Obviously, you can't kill a genre because the things are still going to be there for you to see.
Yeah,
But
it's just a knee-jerk reaction because every time as late as a couple of days ago, I found a video about a Super Mario Maker 2 level that was constructed like one of the old NES adventure
I
games.
saa that,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really.
I
well
really
made.
should have got a picture of it and put it in the OBS. But yeah, you can probably find it on Twitter easily.
It's just search for adventure game made in Super Mario Maker 2. Anyway, the dude who made the video started the video by saying, if you didn't know, adventure games were this sort of style of game that people
yeah.
used to play in the 80s and 90s. I went, fuck you, buddy.
Into the bin.
I will agree. There was a decline. It happened at the end of the 90s and went on for pretty much a decade or so.
It
Can
was
I,
just on
uh,
its feet again.
Can I
Yes,
make a
yes.
controversial statement?
Yes.
Yes,
I
go
love
ahead.
it when
Can
you do that. Can I
can
take off my
I-
shirt first?
If you want. Can I
No,
throw
Shut down, sir. Shut
no
down.
nipples,
Abort,
no
abort.
nipples allowed on Twitch.
Oh, right. Wait. Also, am I technically presenting my nipples?
Francisco,
Yes,
what were you going to
You
say?
are.
I'm going to
Yes.
make a controversial statement, which I
About my
believe to
nipples.
be the truth. and we'll see how you all feel about it. But
Mhm.
the so-called golden age of adventure games, the 90s, I don't think adventure games sold as well as everyone thinks they did. I think that the adventure games were never as popular as everyone seems to think they were.
Do you
Now,
mean in
Quest for
terms of
Glo-
numbers
Did
or
you
like
know-
comparative numbers, like compared to everything else that was coming out?
Well, both, I think. I think one of the reasons that adventure games sort of went into the decline was because the production values and the budgets increased, but sales never matched that. So, for example, Sierra was spending $1 million plus on King's Quest, and maybe King's Quest, their flagship series, was what brought in money, but nothing else did. The entire Quest for Glory series, I believe, has only sold to date something like 250,000 copies all across the board. I could be wrong about that number, but I remember reading it somewhere that it was like a surprisingly low number.
Wow.
Grim Fandango, that was a notorious flop.
Yeah.
Sales-wise,
Yeah, sales wise. No, I'm not talking about critically critical
and I-
acclaim, because I think adventure games have always been popular within the niche genre, or what, among the fans.
Pete's in the
But,
chat, and she
as
absolutely
far
stands
as-
behind you there.
Yeah.
But I think
Thank you,
also,
Pete.
yeah.
But as far as like commercial viability and market realities and all of that stuff, like I think that only happened because people, as adventure games switched into 3D, they realized that, okay, this is not worth the cost that we're putting in. It's not going to bring back, like, first-person shooters will sell wildly more, and the technological, like, we don't have to spend millions and millions of dollars on music and voice acting and all of this stuff. So relatively, they were cheaper to produce. Comparatively, they were cheaper to produce, and thus made more of a profit than adventure games did. And that's
And I
my
think there's also-
soapbox.
Yeah,
That's-
and I think
that's
also
fair, that's
the
fair.
the replayability probably hurts it as well, because you're more likely to buy something and then give it to your friend. Go like, oh, here you go, I finished this, or you don't need to buy it.
Yeah, that was
Right.
something I brought up for the adventure game devs one. The whether or not devs should actually be included, and the point I made was that the actual gameplay part of a point-and-click adventure, the interesting part, the interesting part is the walking around, talking to people, discovering the plot, and solving the puzzles if there are any to be found. But once you have done that, going through those again, not as fun. Whereas in a
Yeah.
first-person shooter, making that progression is the fun part. The running around and shooting is the fun part. So
I would
Yep.
sort of disagree a little on that, because I feel like replaying an adventure game is kind of like rereading a favorite book. If it's a good adventure game, you want to sit
Yeah.
down and go
Well,
through it
yeah,
again.
but by the
re-experience
same
it.
token,
well, like
you wanna-
replaying after some time,
Yeah, you
and
wanna leave
just
some time
immediately
between
replaying because
playthroughs.
you died.
But okay,
But
I-
also,
I-
like what's it called? I think part of that as well is it would take a certain type of person like us that would want to go back
Yeah.
and replay stuff. Whereas, like, some people were like, oh, I've seen it, I don't need to ever see it again.
Right.
yeah.
So,
The
Summer
Netflix
makes a
crowd.
very good point in the chat, saying that adventure games were the big genre as far as showing technological advancements. Because I mean,
That's an excellent point. That's actually something I wanted
Yeah.
to bring up, which
Yeah.
was that
Yeah.
in the 80s, early 80s, adventure games were ubiquitous because they were the first computer games on mainframes and shit. It was those were adventure games. You got
I
the
mean,
Infocom.
Seventh
before the
guest
graphical
responsible
era,
for
yeah.
bringing in CDs.
Sure, yeah. But then, games started diversifying. We started getting new genres. Competitive gaming became a thing in the mid 90s, and like Francisco said, it wasn't as viable shoveling millions of dollars into the black hole that was FMV adventure games in the late 90s. Thankfully, we've turned it around, so now it's like a 2 and 3, sometimes even a one-man job or woman job. So now you've got the auteur kind of development of adventure games came back. The free spirited, I just thought of something over lunch and now it's in the game kind of thing, instead of having to pre-plan and spend millions of dollars and all that shit. So I
that's
think
it.
it's
It
come
is
full
kind of a
circle.
shame that there's no sort of support structure for anyone that, say for example, like the thing that I always admired about the whole Sierra thing is like, well, not of the fact that they had a whole heap of female developers, designers and
Points
such,
for
but it's
that,
kind
by
of
the way.
like, Yes, but kind of like that, it's like, I've got this idea, we're going to run with it. You don't have to worry about having to learn art or having to learn programming. You just have to focus on this thing, having that sort of support structure beneath you. Whereas like the auteur thing, it's kind of like, well, for example, my development team for Lorna Baines just fell apart, and I'm literally going to have to go back to restart the programming again because the UI of this other person is entirely through the game. And I don't know how it works, so I have to learn how to do all that myself. So it's going to take a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There goes a
that's
year
true.
and a
And
half
that-
of programming that's just gone down the drain.
And that's why I don't make any more games, because I desperately want to be an adventure game designer. I'm only a YouTuber because it's easier for me to critique other people's work than actually sit down and put in the hard work myself.
Ironically, I've been
I-
trying to get into adventure game studio and things like that and make just anything really. So
Yeah,
because
me too.
I'm think that maybe it'll help me with my reviews if I can kind of understand the process more rather than just railing and going, this game sucks.
So there are more people going to join me in my Adventure Creator Masterclass,
Maybe.
where
But
I
see,
teach
that's
myself
my-
UIs at the same time.
I will just
My-
offer up a word of warning that if you start learning how the sausage is made, it's gonna really not gonna make you want to play adventure games anymore, because that's what happened to me.
But
anyway.
Several others I know.
There was like about 5 years that I didn't play adventure games other than recording them. So it was kind of like I stopped playing games other than like if I'm gonna play something, I'm gonna record it. So anything
No, but
that you know.
Well, hang on. We're
Uses
kind of
that.
running long, so I want to try and get us
Yeah.
back on topic.
Right.
Back to the main question: what actually defines an adventure game? Some people in the chat brought up a couple of interesting points, like narrative and exploration in your own time, no time limit. Francisco, did you have something you wanted to add?
No, I mean, I think to be as accommodating as possible, I think the most generic description that I think can define that umbrella is that an adventure game is definitely a game that focuses primarily on narrative, where you play as a character, either a defined character or a ambiguous self-insertion roleplay character, and there are obstacles which need to be overcome. They can either be puzzles in the traditional like inventory sense or puzzles in the seventh guest sense, but usually the overcoming of the puzzles the overcoming of the obstacles constitutes the majority of the gameplay, and the story proceeds as those are overcome until you get to an ending, and that's my definition.
Yeah.
Here's a question: is adventure game really even a useful moniker anymore? Because I mean, obviously
Not
we
according
say
to Steam.
yeah, obviously we say
No, it
adventure.
has-
God, no.
If we say
it
adventure
has
game,
bled
the main thing that would
so
come to
many
mind, at
genres.
least for people like
Yeah.
us, is a point and click. But really, when you think about it, kind of just about any game out there, at least any game with a story of some kind, could be described as an adventure. Even Doom, as has been pointed out to trolls.
I'm trying to remember. There was something I read at some point that was basically like, it's like adventure games aren't dead. They literally took over every single other genre because
And
now that
it
they've got
is
to a
kinda
certain
true.
point.
It is
Yeah.
true.
Dorinda says Steam just labels everything as an adventure game, and I remember when the Indiana Jones, Lara Croft ripoffs came out, the Staff of Kings, all that nonsense, they were still marketed as adventure games.
Yeah.
GTA 5 is marked
Yeah.
as an adventure game on Steam.
Yeah. So it's
Well, I mean, again, technically, it kind of is
Yeah.
I guess-
no,
I guess
it
the
is.
by the very definition of an adventure.
it's again that's why I say it's easier to define what an adventure game is not. It's not a real-time strategy. It's not
Yeah.
a first-person shooter, but you can have adventure elements within those genres.
Right.
Yeah,
Again,
like
because
Portal, for
adventures were
example.
so. Portal had a fantastic story and was a puzzle game, but set in the first perspective. Walking simulators, of which I'm quite fond, are technically under the adventure umbrella, even though there are no puzzles to solve. You just wander from trigger to trigger to get through the story.
And me, I'm
Hidden
still
object games
kind
are
of on the
definitely
fence
adventure
about.
games.
Hidden
Yeah,
object games are
thank you,
just
Jane Jensen.
awful shovelware bullshit that no one should ever. sit
Oh,
down to play
we
unless
are
they
going-
were
What about the Jane
certifiable.
Jensen? The Jane
We
Jensen
are
one?
going
The
to have
Jane
to
Jensen
convert
one.
trolls at some point to hidden object
Yes.
games. He does not know
And
what he is
and
missing.
Pete should not be the one to convert me because that
No, no,
just
no.
went
Come-
everywhere.
come to
There's
me.
an episode coming up. Don't you worry.
Come
Eventually, we're gonna have to have like a splash image that you can activate with a button press on OBS that just says "YAR Civil War." We're gonna need that. Just putting that out there.
Trolls, come to me and I will take you through the Jane Jensen hidden object games. They are probably the best.
Or I will take you
Hey,
through
stay
Lost
Stay away
Lands.
from me.
The Big Finish ones as well. 3 cards
yeah.
to
What
midnight.
about Jack the Ripper? Monster, that's the one I'm referring to. You.
Jack the Ripper is full of sheep. No one cares about that one.
Can I
I
just
honestly-
finish that.
actually?
what
recorded an
other
episode of
game?
that.
Hang on. Can I just interject very quickly? I want to know. Do you all know about Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, which is also
Yes.
an FMV?
Wasn't
so
it like
I
a
was
DVD
playing-
game?
It was a DVD game. There is a tabletop game adaptation of that, but it also has expansion packs. It has a Jack the Ripper expansion pack, which I have just finished playing through with some friends recently. And in not the case that we did the other day, but the one before that, there was a bit where it was like, you go into Whitechapel and try and find things, but unfortunately there's traffic because of bovines in the street. And I was like, oh, it's historically accurate. So there's that.
I'm so glad you interjected.
Dorinda says,
that.
I can't
That goes a
wait
long
until the
way
YAR
to
extended
explain what it
universe.
is. Oh, don't you worry. We've got something planned on that one. It's set in space.
Oh, yes. We shall say no more, but
We shall say no more
I
about
have
Things-
to train Dave up.
things
I
are in
need
motion.
support.
it. We shall sell no wine
good.
before it's time.
things are in motion.
Oh, actually, hang on. We haven't heard Dave's definition of
Yeah, Dave,
adventure
Ikifu,
game.
right? Like they were on the first episode, but still, if you want to repeat
Yeah.
anything that you said, if you can remember it, or just offer
Well,
anything
we-
new.
We already really touched on what I said before. Like exploration and puzzle solving and all that, but bleeding
Good
into
light
other
fixtures.
genres like with good light fixtures is a must. Everyone who's making games.
There's
out
another
there.
in joke.
Grunda
Ding!
Slab.
Yeah.
So Dave's games are
Like
probably going
rose
to be
water.
about light fixtures. I'm just.
Okay, guys, we'll start the intervention. We've got them trapped. Let's do this.
Let me.
Hey,
Please continue.
I can
and
stop
I'm-
anytime I want.
Thing is, we're gonna have to have Dave's intervention in a dark room.
Oh no, that will be murder on him.
for that.
Absolute monster.
And on that note,
Wow.
let's get to some plugs, things that we actually can plug, not the extended universe thing. That'll be later.
I will
Who's
plug
doing
my
what?
palm. Nothing. I'm doing nothing.
What's the
Well,
I'm
cool.
just
As I
reacting to what
mentioned,
Troll said with dead silence.
Yeah, as I mentioned, so Wanderer, I'm going to start teaching Wanderer how to do Adventure Creator. I'm going to make him make a 2D game and a 3D game and talk about design
yeah.
philosophy as well.
And you're gonna be
so
streaming,
that's
recording?
going to start showing up. I've almost finished Dreamfall Chapters finally. I mean, I have finished it. It just hasn't finished uploading yet. God, I started Let's Playing the first one maybe 8 years ago. We finally got to the end. So yes.
Where's the
yeah.
where's the
Longer
adventure
than it took me
creator
to play
thing
through the
gonna
Space
show up?
Quest
Is that
series.
is that gonna be on your channel or
I've
YAR?
played it. It's just a matter of recording it. That took me forever. It was the longest time.
Where's the adventure creator thing gonna show up on your channel or YAR channel?
It's gonna show up on my channel. Just because I'll be the one doing most of the work. So, I mean, Dave's gonna be doing some work as well. But
Absolutely, you will be the one doing most of the work. So,
yeah. As in the design
You're-
document I've
that
got, I'm
in-
like, all right, I'm going to be doing some 3D modeling for you. I'm going to be doing some art for you, just so that you just have to worry about learning how to actually design and program.
Can we
So-
put Dave in a school uniform for that? Or is that-
Do you have
I'll-
your old school blazer?
it would not fit.
Good night, everybody.
And hey, my YAR compatriots, if anyone else wants to go through the Adventure Creator Masterclass, come see me
I actually
afterwards.
do.
Did you bring an apple for the teacher?
Why was that
I
voice?
will now.
Why?
Dorinda says
Why
make
Buzz?
a 4D game, something that transcends time.
We could do
Aren't we all trying to do that
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
with every game we make?
Ikifu.
What I'll do-
Ikifu's got something to plug, I do believe.
I'm gonna make a walking simulator set on a windy day. All you have to do is buy a fan from me, and put it on your desk, and there's your 4D game.
All right, trying to wrap us up. Ikifu.
Fantastic. Right. Just did a review on Elsinore. Which
Elsinore!
I left the cursor right above the last E, so that's where that joke comes from. Watch it to find out the exact context. Basically, it's Hamlet, but choose your own adventure, kind of. Also, what if Groundhog Day? Shut up, trolls. And which is very interesting to go into and play and figure out how much you can change, how things play out, that kind of thing. Also, turns out one of our YAR compatriots, Papaya Chemist, is on the QA team. Did not know that when I bought it, but found that out. Well, let's be honest, looking for artwork to make a thumbnail with, but that is also a fact. Also kind of important for disclosure, so that's up there. And it's pretty much obligatory that I'll be covering Gibbous for the next video. Which, again, I did see at Adventure X, and pretty much everything I saw there was promised for early 2019, and none of it came out in early 2019. I was just a bit disappointed about that. Okay, bye.
Trolls, I think you said you're going to be playing Gibbous as well?
It takes us longer than we plan.
Yes, I will be playing Gibbous
I've been
this
planning
Sunday.
Lorna
It's
Bane
my
since
turn now!
Yeah, gotta get everybody's plugs in.
Yeah,
We're running long here, and I know you guys got things to do after this.
Oh yeah.
I will be playing Gibbous on Sunday at 9 p.m. CEST. I have to get the S in there because it is in fact summertime here. Australia is a weird place, and I'm actually gonna. I can announce this now. I am returning to my roots on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be playing the Space Quest series all over again, but in a strangely new and weird and exciting ways. Inspired by the chaos over on David X Newton's channel, where he played Prince of Persia on every system imaginable. I have now spent 2 nights sitting up way too late, messing around with Atari ST and Amiga and Macintosh emulators and trying to get Space Quests 1, 2, 3, and 4 running on various different bits of old, obsolete hardware.
Nice.
So that's going to be a series in the future. And also I'm playing Monkey Island 2, which is a lot of fun.
Mad.
And of course, Francisco.
Bits.
So as I mentioned before, Lamplight City, a detective game where it's okay to fail, is currently on sale. I just said that for trolls. It's on sale on GOG.com currently until the 12th of July. It's 30% off. I would appreciate it if you have not played it yet. Please check it out. If
Definitely
you have
do.
played
Good
it,
game.
if you have played it and you've enjoyed it, please consider leaving a review on Steam or GOG. And also, I am working currently on another game called Rosewater. I would like to show my a couple of reference photos from my reference photos. Some lovely light fixtures there. And,
You're just enabling him at this point.
Here's some more.
Oh god. Okay, he's moist.
Yeah.
This is how you keep the soup moist.
Yeah, get that soup. Anyway,
I do love a little bit of architecture porn.
so if you'd like to follow the development of that, you can follow me on Twitter at @GrunderSoftGames. I tweet about it way too much, but you got to get the hype train rolling. So.
And lastly,
And we're gonna be at PAX, so come and say hi.
Yes,
Oh
go check,
yeah. If
go
you're
check
at
them
PAX
out.
West.
And I am working
Yeah,
on a
say hi to
review
us.
for a game called Kingpin: Life of Crime.
Oh no! Why would you put yourself through that?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
No. Oh.
Trust me, the review is
wobbly
going to be.
gangsters.
Trust me, the review is going to be fun. Check that out. Hopefully, within the next couple of days, on my YouTube channel. YouTube channel. Gemini Does Games.
YouTube.
And that about does it. So
I've got
hurry.
my channel as well.
Yeah,
Almost finished The Lost Crown. We've got a couple of videos left to get to the end, which I've never seen before. I've played up to where I was, and then everything fucked out, and I lost the save game. And now I've gone further than that. And we're also streaming Mean Streets with a couple of people right here.
All right. Lots of stuff
We
to
always
check out
forget
on
Dave.
all our individual channels. And of course,
Right?
we've got stuff coming up
In the
here on the YAR channel. In fact, these people that you see around me here are about to start recording some fun stuff for you in the future days as soon as we get done with this. So thanks to you guys for joining me here on this first live stream. And thanks to everybody in the chat for watching. We've still got 16 people watching. Wow, that is amazing. Thank you.
Do let us know on the Discord, our YouTube Adventure Roundtable Discord, what you thought of the live version of this. If you've got any improvement
I think it was
ideas.
great, to be honest.
The Discord or any of our individual Twitters, you can see our
Discord as
tags
well. Yeah, that's well.
on the screen. But yeah,
Discord has the advantage of we'll all see it. So
hopefully we will be improving this in the future weeks. I am saying a lot, so that is usually a good sign that I should wrap this up. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to you guys again for joining me, and we will see you next. Not next week. Damn it! I stuttered again. I finally get to bring this out. There we go. We'll see you not next week, but the week after that. They're waving their arms out. I'm just gonna get us out of here. Bye, everybody.